Hey YouTube, this video is going to be a Laura Geller holiday collection. For all of you who saw my video last year on her 31 days of holiday eyeshadow collection, that one kind of sold out quick. They have now a 31 days of holidays volume 2, which looks like that. Let's see if I can. My lights are kind of washing it out. Let's see if I can turn that one off. Okay, so this is the 31 days of holiday volume 2 collection, and the cover is falling down. I will put that on autofocus because I'm going to show you. Of course, it comes with the little piece of paper here, and then it's covered with plastic after that. But then this is what your shadows look like, and I'm going to be honest with you, when I swatched them with my fingers when I first got them, I did not like them at all. I thought that they were very sheer, and what I'm going to do is just swatch a couple of them for you, and then I'll swatch them again with a wet brush. I'm going to swatch them with my finger and then swatch them with a wet brush and show you what the payoff is like. Because these are baked blushes, they are more intense when they are wet. So we'll see. Maybe there's a saving grace, because so far I was not impressed, but I just did some quick swatches when I first got it. The price of this palette is actually $59.96, which for the amount of baked shadows in here is a value, but we'll see what happens here. If the shadows are not great, it's not worth the $59.96. So you do have a good amount of mattes as well as shimmery / glittery eyeshadows in this palette. And I am going to sort of swatch the ones that are the most interesting to me. And the first one that pops up is this color here where my finger is, and that is Blueberry. So I am going to swatch it on my finger, and it looks like this on my finger. So already not very pigmented. Sort of comes off like that, and then I'm going to take an eyeshadow brush and sort of wet it. Well, should I wet it for you? I'll wet it, and then I'll pick the Blueberry up with the wet brush. So because these are baked blushes, you will not destroy them by putting a wet brush in them. And we'll swatch it right beside. And there is a huge difference. This is gorgeous when you wet it. Absolutely gorgeous when you wet it. So that is the Blueberry color. Let me turn my light back on. Let's see. There, you can see it, I think, a little better. That's the Blueberry. I am going to now, let's see, we're going to go with a purple one. They have Amethyst, they have dark purple, both of these here. Let's go with the Amethyst. The Amethyst is sort of a satin, and my hand got into another one, but that is what Amethyst looks like. Dry, not super bad. Dang it, let me wipe this off. Alright, so my brush is devoid of all of the color from that blue shadow. I'll spray it again so you can see my brush is clean. I'll spray it again, and we'll go back into the Amethyst, which is here. And I'll just use one side this time so I can use this brush again. And this one sort of looks matte to me, but this one, it's okay. It is a little deeper when you wet it. There it is. It's a little deeper when you wet it, but still sort of patchy. I am going to try sort of one of the berry colors. They have one that they call berry tart, and they have one that they call purple, which is not purple to me. That's the purple, that's the berry tart. Let's go into the berry tart, and I will swatch that here. So it doesn't swatch too bad when you swatch it just dry. That is dry. And purple on that side. Let's use this side, and we'll go into the berry tart. The berry tart is gorgeous wet. Okay, so this is the wet version of the berry tart here at the bottom. I am going to switch over to another hand here since I am on a roll. Let us go with a neutral, and I'm going to go with this color here, Frosting, which is really like a really pretty taupey color, and I always have high hopes for ones that look like that. This one is gorgeous dry. So this is what it looks like dry. I don't think it'll even be much better than that wet because it's already so nice dry. But I'm going to take a different brush this time and wet it and go into the frosting here. And that is what it looks like on my brush. High hope for that one. Gorgeous. Yeah, there is a difference. It almost looks like liquid metal or something. But this is the, it almost changes the color. So that is frosting. Okay, so this palette has sort of redeemed itself for me because I was kind of unhappy. Let's try, and this one I think is a matte. This is the blue raspberry here. I will swatch it dry. And very powdery, but the color is not too bad. It is still sort of sheer. And we will wet the other side so we can see how the mattes perform wet. And let's see. Okay, and this is the blue raspberry wet. I think with the mattes, it doesn't make too much of a difference. It made it a little bit darker, but that was it. So this is the overview. If you want, I can, oh, let's try one more thing. Let's try this khaki right here. And let's swatch it dry with my finger. And I'll put it right there. And that is khaki, very sheer, dry. You can barely see it down there at the bottom. So let's see what khaki looks like wet. And I'll spray my brush again. And I think it's going to be great wet. Yep, it's great wet. I made my brush too wet though. Ooh, and I kind of see a bit of another color on there, but here at the bottom, ignore that stripe at the top. That is a bleed from another color, but this is khaki, and you can see it here. Let me turn that light off again. This is khaki here. This one here is dry, and this one here is wet. Ignore that little piece up at the top. But that's it. Like with this palette, I think you are good with your mattes being dry, but you have to wet these sort of satin and shimmer colors. Once I wet it, I actually think this palette is worth picking up because the colors are actually gorgeous once you wet them. As you can see from my swatches here, the difference in the intensity of color. When you wet the shadows, there is a good amount of pigmentation. So I am thinking that this one is more so intended for being used wet than dry, because you don't get a lot of color payoff when it's dry. And like I said, it is limited edition on QVC. They said once they sell out, they are sold out. They will not be restocking them. They are, as of this video, still available on QVC or QVC.com. You can order them. And actually, since I have my phone here, I'll give you the item number. It is A280844. That's the item number. It's $59.96, and with QVC, the shipping and handling is $3 on most of their beauty products. So that is it, you all. That is the Laura Geller 31 Days of Holiday Volume 2 collection. Baked shadows, better wet baked shadows. If you like the Laura Geller baked shadows and you sort of know how they operate, so you know what to expect, you know that this is a pretty good value, and I say run and pick them up. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.